Hello guys, how we doing out there today? This is what it looks like at the Cheshire household in the backyard. All right. Blessings to everybody out there today. Hope you're doing well out there. This is the day the Lord has made. I will choose to rejoice and be glad in it. Amen. Whew. I think this morning it was like somewhere around 8 degrees Fahrenheit. Something like that, guys. Amen. Hallelujah. I'm going to try and delete that. Amen. We'll type in a new comment here. You may want to cover your ears for a second. There we go, guys. We bless all of you today in Jesus' name. Remember that Jesus is knocking at the door of your heart. He wants to invite you in to His presence, to His ways of thinking, being, and doing. Amen. And I shared something earlier, just about within an hour or so ago. I had this same shirt on, but it was from a different week. Amen. So just so you know, I didn't change my undershirt real quick. Amen. So wifey had her car parked in here last night, and it did a little damage to the carpets, my two main carpets. So we got to figure out a better way to let wifey park in here, because last night, of course, it got really, really cold, and we didn't want her to fuss with the ice scrapers and things like that we do oftentimes this time of year, especially when it gets really cold. So we got to figure out a better system, a better way of doing things so that she can park her vehicle in here. I would like her to be able to park it in here all the time. And so I've got to think of some things I got to do. Rolling up the carpet every day. I wish I would have done that last night, but it is what it is, right? So this week was a lot better than last week, guys. If you guys didn't know, the week before I was just really sick, and it was just pretty much from here up. Amen. And last week I had a major breakthrough. God broke that spirit of infirmity off of me, and so that was a beautiful thing. Amen. So going forward, it's 11 days until Christmas, guys. I just need to say this just so that I stop being bombarded with requests. We don't have extra money to send for Christmas time. Amen. So don't even ask me. Amen. Please. We don't have extra money to be able to support other ministries at this time. We don't have extra to support the Christmas programs. We don't have any money coming into our ministry. So how can we have extra to give to others? Amen. So please try to be respectful of that. Try to understand that. We have 3 feeding programs going on in the nations of the world. One of those is my dear brother, David Gundula Paul. Amen. And hallelujah, Jesus. Hello, Brother Matthew. Blessings. Hope you're doing well today. Amen. And then we've got Bishop Leonard Juma in Kenya. We've got Maxwell Lally in the nation of Malawi, just below Tanzania. And those 3 are faithful to do the feeding programs. I think Brother David Paul said that 45 people in his meeting gave their lives to Jesus Christ today. So that's very exciting news. Amen. And we give God all the praise. We know the angels in heaven are having a little heyday, a little celebration going on in heaven, even when one comes to know Jesus, let alone 45. My goodness, they're probably singing and shouting and dancing. Woohoo! Amen. Getting their potty dance going. Amen. Hallelujah. Well, we're all dealing with things in our lives, guys. We're all dealing with things that the enemy's trying to put on us. We're all dealing with things that our minds focus on, that to us are pleasurable, but yet they kind of take us away from our focus in the Lord Jesus Christ. And so we're hoping that today's teaching will facilitate a greater focus on the Lord Jesus Christ and what He's doing in our lives, what He wants to do. Amen. without, number one, us thinking about our own desires and our own needs, and number two, not thinking about things that the enemy implants in our minds as well. Amen. So let's get into praise and worship today, guys. If you want to invite some people onto the broadcast today, that they may be encouraged and filled with their most holy faith, please do. Amen. And if you're new to this broadcast, we salute you in Jesus' name. We pray that you feel the tangible presence of God as we listen to Eyes on Jesus Nashville worship, Eyes on Jesus Nashville YouTube channel from June 9, 2024. We play this specific segment every once in a while because it's highly anointed, and it goes for a long time. So those two things in particular are really awesome. Amen. Okay, let's get into it, guys. Oh my goodness. Nothing like your love, Jesus. Holy, 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 holy. Blessings, Bishop Johnson and Mukhtar Masihi, thank you so much for joining today. I pray that you feel the tangible presence of God in this place. I love you, Yeshua HaMashiach. I love you, oh yeah. nothing like your love, Jesus.
There is
Nothing like your love. Yeah.
Jesus says in His Word that His disciples must be where He is. So when we're His disciples, we must be where He is. And I remember reading that years ago and thinking about this song and thinking, I can't just want to be, I must be, I have to be, and not even just near but in. Like, we get to be in Christ because Christ is in us.
Revealed in us.
I thank you, God, that you are never far. You are never far. It doesn't matter where we are, what we feel. Oh, if we can feel far, we can feel close. You're never far. You promise us when we come close.
Hello, Brother Paul from Bangladesh. Blessings. Hello, Pakistan. Hello, India. Blessings to all of you out there in Jesus' name.
If we can feel far, we can feel close. And trust that you'll never let go. If we can feel far, we can feel close. 'Cause you'll never let me go. You're never far. You're never far. You're never
Happy Sunday. Happy Fun Day. Happy Sunday. The King of Kings and Lord of Lords, the bright morning star, the Lord Jesus Christ. Did you know the name Christ means anointed one of God? I pray that you feel the liberty in this house today. The liberty of the Lord Jesus Christ. The one who can save and set free and deliver. His name is Yeshua HaMashiach, the Lord Jesus Christ in Hebrew. Amen. He wants to have a relationship with you. Amen. If you're on this broadcast today, you don't know Jesus, I invite you to know Him. Just say, Jesus, I want to know you. Jesus, fill me with the knowledge of you so that I can make an intelligent decision about receiving you today as Savior and Lord of my life. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Just to worship.
Hallelujah.
Oh, just
From my heart, from my heart, from my heart, I worship you, Jesus. From my heart, I give my life to you, Jesus. From my heart, I ask you to forgive me of all of my sins and cleanse me from all unrighteousness. Yes, hallelujah.
Everything's alright when I worship you.
Oh yeah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah. Yeah. We give you praise, we give you worship, oh God. We bless your holy name. We speak signs, miracles, wonders, recreative miracles, and people being raised from the dead, even in your area. By your decree and declare, by the words that come out of your mouth, your faith-filled words. Hallelujah. 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 We live. Hello, Alloys. Blessings. Welcome to this broadcast, where we pray you feel the tangible presence of God in your life today. I speak freedom. I speak freedom. Freedom for the captives. Freedom from those that are bound. Freedom for those who are under the influence of demonic strongholds. I break the power of those demonic strongholds in Jesus' mighty name. Hallelujah. I render all the power of the enemy of our souls useless in Jesus' name. Because you are filled with the Holy Ghost. You are filled with the power of God to demolish any and all strongholds that the enemy is setting to trap you. Amen. Hallelujah. Yeah. Hallelujah. Thank you, Yeshua HaMashiach. Yes, Father God. Holy Spirit. Thank you. Thank you, Yeshua HaMashiach. Yeah.
Thank you for Jesus.
Thank you for giving us the power with our words to demolish strongholds of the enemy in our lives.
You shed abroad in our hearts the love we need to love you and to love you. It's your love that fills us. It's your love that
Hallelujah.
It's your love.
May the presence of God go into your place. Yeshua HaMashiach. Your love. See, I'm not responsible for bringing the power of God into your life. I surrender to the one who is able to bring the presence of God into your life. And that is a pretty amazing thing right there. Amen. That takes a lot of pressure off of me, because I'm not the one that is supposed to bring the healing. I'm merely a junction box. I am merely a facilitator. I'm merely one who lays hands on you by faith. But it's ultimately God that does the deliverance, that God does the healing. Amen. Yeah. Come on. When we lay hands on people, we don't need to push them over either. We just gently put our hands on them. And sometimes just keep our hands a little bit away from them and see what God does. Amen. The Bible says that God inhabits the praises of His people. That means He comes very near. He's like, I wonder what they're doing over there. I'm hearing somebody singing songs to me. Amen. And He's just running over there with His angels and just getting all excited. Amen. Hallelujah. Because He knows that He is the way, the truth, and the life. Amen. No man can come unto the Father but by Jesus. John 14:6. There is salvation in none other than the Lord Jesus Christ. Acts chapter 4, verse 12. Hallelujah. Jesus, your love is all around me. Deep waters, deep wells, deep waters, deep well. Hallelujah.
Love is more real than everything I see. Love is real. Love is real. Love is real. The love of God changes our hearts.
Hallelujah.
Changes our perspective.
The still small voice of the Holy Ghost.
Love is real. Love is real. Love is real.
Yeah.
Love is real.
Love is real. Love is real.
Love is real. Love is real. And love is the big deal.
Yeah.
Love is real. 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 And love is the biggest deal. Love is real. 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 And love is a big deal. And God is love.
Maxwell, Lolly, Salim, Shahid, blessings. Sunday Fred, what's going on out there, brother? Woo! Come on, we got all the heavy hitters in here today. Amen. Hallelujah. If you want freedom, if you want liberty from your problems, so that you're above your circumstances and not below your circumstances, you come in and you praise and worship like we're doing today, and all of your burdens, all of your cares just evaporate away. Amen. Hallelujah. Just get lost with Jesus. Amen. Hallelujah. Holy Ghost. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
Love makes me ready. Love is a big deal.
Your love, hallelujah. 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 Your love, your love, your love envelops me, surrounds me. Yeah. Your love. Hallelujah. Your love, your love, your love for all humanity is inside of me. Yeah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. You put your love for humanity within me. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
This is my rest.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
He is my rest.
Oh, la 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 la
Everyday Sabbath. Supernatural.
supernatural, divine intervention of God, yeah. That's what some of you need today. You need the supernatural intervention of God in your life, in your heart, in your ways of thinking, being, and doing. There is a way that seemeth right unto a man, or unto a person, but in the end is death. So we ask God for discernment today. We ask God for discernment to show us the clear way, the clear path that He wants us to walk in, so that we don't get tripped up by the traps of the enemy along the way. Amen. Oh, He's worthy of our praise, yeah. Worthy of my praise. He's worthy of my praise. He's worthy of all our praise, yeah. Our praise. He's worthy of your praise. He's worthy of my praise. The Bible says that we come into His courts with thanksgiving in our hearts, entering into His courts with praise. Before we make any prayer petition, before we share with Him what's on our heart, we just come and sing songs to Him. He loves that. Amen. Always worthy, always worthy. Hello, Brother Frederick. Blessings, Nairobi. Nairobi has the greatest concentration of followers of this ministry than any other city in the world right now. It's not even close. Amen. Hallelujah. Welcome all you sweet people out there today. Welcome, family of Jesus Christ. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Wisdom for daily living. The Bible says to seek after wisdom and understanding more than you seek after silver and gold. Hallelujah. You are always worthy, wow, Jesus. You're worthy, my praise, my praise. Yeah. Yeshua HaMashiach, you're worthy of all our praise. Always, you are, you're alive every day. Your Holy Spirit envelops us with your love. Always worthy, you are. Ooh. Come on. Some of you need to have your gift of the Holy Ghost with the evidence of speaking in unknown tongues in evidence, in operation. One of the ways that you can defeat strongholds in your life, speaking in your heavenly prayer language. It's one of those spiritual tool belt items that we need to have in our spiritual tool belt closet, according to Ephesians chapter 6. Although it is not specifically mentioned in there, you need to have it. It's kind of like that dreaded 7-letter word that nobody wants to mention, called fasting. Amen. And some of you are from a country where you're like, Brother Bill, I fast all the time whether I want to or not because I can't find any food. Amen. Well, hallelujah. We believe God honors that in Jesus' name. Amen. Hallelujah. God sees your affliction. God knows what you need before you ask Him. The Bible says, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. I firmly believe that means we don't have enough of the Word of God in here to have victory in every area of our life. We don't know what the Word of God says about certain things, that if we knew them, we would have victory. We would have the total preeminence over all principalities and powers of darkness. Amen. So we must acquire knowledge. We must get wisdom from the book of Proverbs, amen, and from Ecclesiastes. We must learn how to praise like David did in the book of Psalms, amen. We must learn about how the early church grew in the Holy Ghost in the book of Acts, amen. Hallelujah. We've got to know the Word of God. We've got to set it in our minds and in our hearts, like a message I preached about a month and a half ago called Force Yourself. You must force yourself to do the will of God in your life. You must force yourself to do it. It's not something that you just want to do, but it's very beneficial for you. Get that Word of God in your mind, which goes down into your heart. Psalm 119, verse 11. Amen. There's no shortcuts in the kingdom of God. If you want to know the Word of God, you got to put in the time. Amen. Yeah, that's what happens. When you're in praise and worship, demons tremble. They come out. Woo! Come on, Jesus. Amen. Yes. Praise and worship brings deliverance. Amen. Yeah. Liberty for the captives. If you put in the time, and I'm talking to myself, see what that precious angel right there is doing? She's bowing. She's physically bowing, prostrate before the Lord Jesus Christ. When was it the last time that you did that? When you did that, as a sign of surrender to the Lord Jesus Christ. Now, some of you are from countries where you just do that automatically. I mean, that's just like, that's common knowledge. But here in the United States, I go into the congregation that I go into, and I'm like, God, why do these people not have a holy fear of you? Well, there's something messed up, right? In the Western church, something is really messed up. We think we go to church to get entertained. Amen? But that's not what God wants. God wants you to be a participator. He wants you to sing with your mouth. He wants you to give some effort to praising His name. Amen. Hallelujah. We want all of you to live in victory today. If there's anything I can tell you on this broadcast that's going to bring you victory, I'm going to tell it. Amen. Hallelujah. Because I don't want people perishing for lack of knowledge. Amen. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. I bless Eyes on Jesus Nashville. I bless them for being a blessing to us, and I bring that blessing to you. Amen. You could say I'm a broker, I'm a go-between, I'm a conduit, I'm a facilitator. Amen. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Yes. Hallelujah. Brother Patrick, blessings. Hallelujah. 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 So you may be listening to this broadcast for the first time, and you may be asking yourself, what's the point of this broadcast, Brother Bill? What are you trying to do? What are you trying to show? Because we are a unique broadcast. Not everybody does this type of broadcast. What is it that you're trying to convey to us? What is it that you're trying to show us by what you're doing and by what you're showing? We're trying to help people to get into praise and worship, because sometimes we don't know. We don't know how long it takes to get into praise and worship. Somebody needs to tell us, right? If you've never done something before and you want to learn how to do it, you have to go to somebody who knows how to do it, right? It doesn't matter what it is. Fixing cars, you know. I leave it to somebody else, fixing cars. Amen. I'm not good. I'm not a good mechanico. Amen. So this broadcast is here so that you can learn how to get into praise and worship. So we start out by praising God, which is singing songs to God. But after a while of singing songs to God, then God's Spirit moves into us. So we move from a place of praising God with our efforts, and now we're just incubating in worship, which is actually His worship coming into us. It's like Him giving His approval for what we're doing here. Amen. Does that make sense? We want to make it elementary so everybody understands, like a little child, what the point is, what the purpose of this is. Because if God gets so many people to praise Him, like we're doing on this broadcast, which is simply just singing songs to God out of a heart of gratitude, out of a heart of love. Amen. Oh my goodness, what God can do with you and me if we will just stop and give Him praise. Amen. And then worship is receiving God's presence. Amen. Out of your heart of gratitude, He gives so much more back to you. Out of your effort that you make. Don't go to church today and just be a bump on a log, just sitting there. Okay, what time is it? Oh, we got lunch today. Oh, we got stuff we got to do. Don't be like that, amen? I know it's tempting, amen, the rumbly in the tummy, you know. Oh, man, we got to go get some food after church, amen? But the benefits of praising God without thinking about time, oh my goodness, He's going to give you so much back. Hallelujah. Come on. Oh. She pierces the darkness every time she gets on a broadcast, guys. The demons shudder when they see her face, when they hear her voice. Pastor Cheyenne, oh my goodness, she's got one of those piercing type voices, amen. Hallelujah. I want to honor a woman of God today that taught me how to do what we're doing here today. I want to honor an elder in the body of Christ, Pastor Charlotte Roth. I want to honor you, sister, today from Firehouse Church in Lancaster, Ohio. They don't do live broadcasts anymore for some reason. But if it wasn't for that woman, I would not be doing what I'm doing. So if any of you are blessed out there today, will you say a special prayer for Miss Charlotte Roth today? Will you ask Him to deliver her grandchildren from sickness and disease and all manner of infirmity in Jesus' mighty name. She's been going through a literal hell on earth for a long time with her grandchildren. Amen. Especially the two boys. Amen. And we want God to make some major breakthroughs in her grandchildren's lives. She only has 3, and they're near and dear to her heart. Amen. Hallelujah. Ooh. Father God, I ask today that you grow that church in Lancaster, Ohio, Firehouse Church. We ask you to grow that church. We ask you to put your seal of approval upon it. In Jesus' name, we ask you to liberate those that need liberated in that place and give them a spirit of boldness to have meetings and to go out on Saturdays into the neighborhoods, into the highways and byways, compelling people to come to church on Sunday and on Wednesday nights. Amen. Hallelujah. Yes, I pray a spirit of boldness over Firehouse Church. A spirit of boldness wrapped in love. No more fear, no more intimidation by the enemy. In Jesus' mighty name. May they walk in total victory. This is a church of about 20 to 30 people. Amen. We ask that God raise them up in holy boldness to take their city for Jesus. It's about 30 minutes southeast of Columbus, Ohio. Hallelujah. If you know anything about this ministry, we're all about honoring those who have blessed me. Amen. Brother James Pitzenberger at Holy Horns Ministries. Amen. International. We honor that ministry in Jesus' name. We call that ministry to greatness in Jesus' name. No more hiding in the shadows, but actually God thrusting them into the public eye. Amen. Hallelujah. Yes. Hallelujah. We're all about celebrating others' ministries. We're all about celebrating your ministry, Brother Gundala David Paul. Hallelujah. We're all about celebrating your ministry, Brother Paul Biswas from Bangladesh. We're all about celebrating your ministry, Bishop Leonard Juma out of Kenya. We're all about celebrating your ministry, Brother Maxwell Lally, there in the great nation of Malawi. And whatever ministry you are doing, if I haven't mentioned you by name, don't worry. I'm praying God's blessing over you in Jesus' name. Amen. I'm praying God's blessing over you, whether I mentioned you by name, whether I mentioned your orphans by name, whether I mentioned your Sunday school by name.
Thank you, Jesus.
I bless you. I bless you in Jesus' name.
Thank you, Jesus.
May God's favor overtake you in Jesus' name.
Thank you.
May you be blessed coming in and blessed coming out.
Thank you for the.
May you be above and not beneath. May the favor of the Lord Jesus Christ go with you wherever you go.
Thank you, Jesus.
May the anointing of God go with you
Thank you, Jesus.
wherever you go, whoever you talk to,
Thank
whoever you shake hands with,
Jesus.
whoever you look at with your
Thank
eye,
you, Jesus.
and they see you're generous. They see your
Thank you for
your sincerity. Amen. There's something the Holy Spirit told me in December of this last year. Last year, December.
Krishna, will you pray?
He said, be intentional,
Pray,
be passionate,
pray,
and be genuine.
preach whatever God.
That's not a word just for me. That's a word for all of you, precious people out there today. In Jesus' name, I want you to receive that word. I want you to start practicing that word. Amen. Brother Patrick, we bless you in Jesus' name. Hallelujah. Sister Surya Shaheen, blessings. Thank you for your faithfulness, everyone out there today. Thank you for your faithfulness to reach out to your Sunday school. Thank you for your faithfulness to reach out to the orphans. Amen. Thank you for your faithfulness to reach out to those who come to your local church.
You're so beautiful.
Thank you for preparing your messages for them.
You're holy.
Thank you for your
You're
faithfulness.
majestic. You're righteous.
Brother Emmanuel
Everything
Tobin,
about you is right
blessings, brother.
and beautiful.
Amen. So glad to have you on here today. Now, I realize many of you are limited by your bundles or your Wi-Fi or your broadband, whatever you call it,
Thank you for
that thing that you need to buy so that you can have a signal, so that you can watch this broadcast. So I'm very thankful for just being on the broadcast as long as you can. And God knows He's going to impart to you a greater anointing in Jesus' name. Amen. He's going to do something wonderful for you because you took time out of your busy life to come on a little broadcast, even if you just come on for a little bit. Amen. He's going to reward that.
We have a free life.
Now, I'm not sure who Samsung is, Sister Surya,
We have a free life.
but we do pray the healing of God invade that precious one's life.
We have a free
And everyone
life in Christ.
Everyone who needs healing, anyone who needs deliverance right now, we just speak it by faith. We speak that deliverance. We speak that healing that you need in Jesus' name.
Hallelujah. Come on, we have a free life in
That's
Christ.
precious right there. Oh my goodness. Come
We
on.
have a free life.
That's what the Holy Spirit
Christ
does.
Jesus.
Yay. Hallelujah. That's precious. See what the Holy Spirit does? You guys can't see that because the comments. Look at those two ladies right there. That's what happens. That's what happens. That's so precious. That's so precious. You see, when we get into praise, before we get into worship, there's praise, right? Praise is when you make efforts to praise and worship God. That's praise. Now, these two young ladies, they were, maybe about 3 feet apart. They were just kind of, just singing, getting into the praise and worship. But I say praise and worship, but what I really mean is they get into praise, right? Because I don't want to confuse people. Praise is not worship, and worship is not praise. Amen? It's not. So when you praise God, you are making efforts toward God. You are praising Him. You are thanking Him for this day. You're thanking Him for your daily bread. You're just blessing Him, right? But there comes a point in that praise that the atmosphere shifts. And God says, I'm honoring you now because you've made efforts to sing songs to me for a period of time. Now my presence is going to inhabit you. Amen. My presence is now going to inhabit you because I have found you faithful in praising my name. So what am I going to do? I'm going to bless you. That's why the Bible says He inhabits the praises of His people. In other words, it's like a holy cloud coming down. Amen? It's like a holy cloud resting upon His children that are blessing Him. And now He's saying, guess what? Now I'm going to bless you. That's what happens. Then that shift. Amen? It now becomes Jesus blessing you instead of you blessing Him. And you're just there to receive. Amen? Hallelujah. That's what that is. They came to the place in praise and worship where their hearts have been melted together. Where their hearts have been melted together in holy love for God. They no longer care about the things of this world. They just want the blessing of God. They understand what it means to assemble together regularly. Does that make sense? The Bible says that we are to assemble ourselves regularly together so that we can have that sisterly love, that brotherly love, where you're just hugging on each other, you're just loving on each other because you're so excited that you actually touched God's heart. And then God is reciprocating with His presence. That's why we were created. Did you know that we were created to worship God, to bless Him? And I say worship, I got to stop doing that because you guys get confused. Amen? We were created to praise God. That is the actual correct term I'm reaching. Even though in the Word it says we're created to worship Him. But here's the deal. Like I said, worship and praise are different. Praise is when you are making an effort to praise Him. You're making that effort to give Him glory and to give Him honor. But worship is when He comes upon you. And that shift happens in the atmosphere. And He's like, okay, I'm taking this seed that you're sowing called praising me. And now I'm going to bless your socks off in the Spirit, right? That's basically what that is. And it's a beautiful thing, as many of you know. When you're in your praise sessions at your local church, you know what I'm talking about. all of a sudden you feel that shift in the atmosphere. That's what I'm talking about. Hallelujah. And you are exceedingly blessed because of the efforts that you made. Hallelujah. Joyanne Prince, blessings. Thank you so much for joining today. Now, this topic here I am careful with because I want to stay in the Spirit. Amen. Hallelujah. Now, if I have not shared this broadcast with my other groups yet, Brother David Paul, if you wouldn't mind sharing this broadcast with Bros in Revival, that would be really awesome. Amen. And, well, actually, what am I thinking? Everbright Ministries Messenger. Yeah, that would be great. Okay. So this one here, overcoming strongholds. That's what we're talking about today. Now, in order to overcome strongholds, this is one of the ways we overcome is by praising God, and then He ends up blessing us, right? With His presence. His presence alone will kick out any and all sickness and disease, and when we praise Him, right? So, here's a list of 25 strongholds. And I'm going to take this off the thing, and I'm sorry it's going to make noise. I'm going to try not to do it very much. Okay. Because I do listen to these broadcasts after the fact, and I'm like, that thing is super squeaking and noisy, right? So here's what we're doing. A list of 25 strongholds. Now, before I get into this really big, I'm going to go ahead and share this with you guys. Okay, so just hold on just a second here. See, now you guys know what I'm looking at when I'm looking at my other device. Okay. Because I want you guys to be informed. I want you to be overcomers. Amen. So that is posting. It's awakeningdestiny.global/overcoming strongholds. Okay, so we have that shared now. Now here's what it says. This is the list, okay, of what these are. Fear and anxiety is a stronghold. Unbelief and doubt, like Thomas had, like some of the disciples had. Amen. And how many of you know we're just like them? Amen. We're just like them. We're just ordinary people. You know, we get into fear and anxiety and unbelief and doubt every once in a while, don't we? Amen. Pride and arrogance, those are two things we really need to avoid. Amen. At all costs, if you want to be healthy in your spirit. Unforgiveness and bitterness. Yeah. What does Matthew 6 verses 14 and 15 tell us right after the Lord's Prayer? It says if we don't forgive, we're not going to be forgiven. That's pretty harsh language, isn't it? Amen. Amen. Selfishness or self-centeredness. That's a type of pride, right? Lust and sexual immorality. Amen. You can't sneak things by God. God, you know, I'm just going to tell you guys, that thing that they say about that fake dude called Santa Claus, it's not real, guys. Amen. It's a fake dude. It's a demonic principality. And the thing they say about him is actually true about Jesus. He knows when you are sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good. So be good for Jesus' sake, right? Amen? Come on. Amen? It's just like that dirty dog devil to try to take the credit for something that God is saying. Amen? So greed and materialism. anger and unforgiving spirit. Amen. We must forgive. We must be known as a people who forgive. And there's been some people that have done some very heinous things to us, some very awful things, and God wants to bring us to a place where we can actually forgive those people. Amen. There's gossip and slandering, right? That's some really yucky stuff too. Jealousy and envy. Amen. All of us are tempted to have these things in our lives, but the overcomers will make a way, right? They will let God in so that he can do his perfect work in and through us, right? Amen. Negativity and complaining. Yeah. You remember a group of people in the Old Testament that were known for their negativity and their complaining? What did God do to them? He didn't allow them to inherit the promised land, did he? After they came out of Egypt in the Exodus, right? He's like, man, these people are complaining all the time, drive me nuts, right? Addiction or substance abuse, whether that's alcohol addiction, sexual addiction, substance abuse would be drugs. Amen. Illicit drugs. Perfectionism and fear of failure. There's somebody in my life that struggles with perfectionism. Amen. Near and dear to my heart. And I pray that God breaks that off of that person. Because in being a perfectionist, you never are able to compliment people for the good things they do, for the good things they say. But you're always looking, you're like a fault finder. Amen. You're always looking for the thing they didn't do instead of praising and complimenting them for what they did do that was good, right? We're at number 15 now. People pleasing and fear of rejection. Amen. Self-condemnation and shame. Amen. Shame is not from God. That's why we need to come under the covering of the Almighty, so that he can help us to see ourselves the way he sees us. He sees us as overcomers. He sees us as victorious. He sees us as free in Christ Jesus, right? Victim mentality and self-pity. When a pride-minded person doesn't get their way, they often find themselves in self-condemnation or shame. Well, that's not what I was trying to say. Victim mentality and self-pity. Number 17. And they flip back and forth. When they see that they're not getting attention by being pride and arrogant, then they get over into victim mentality and self-pity, and it's kind of like a flip-flop situation. Amen? God doesn't want us to live like that. Amen? Hatred and prejudice. God doesn't want us to, that means racist, right? Don't be full of hatred. Some people actually teach their children in their religion to hate people that don't look like them, that don't have the same type of skin. And God's like, wait a minute here. Did I not create all the colors of skin that there are in the world? Who are we? Who are we? Who do we think we are to question God and what he's doing? Right? Resentment and an unforgiving heart. Idolatry and love of worldly things. In the West, we have to constantly be monitoring that. Amen. Legalism and religious bondage. Don't get into religion. It's all about a relationship with Jesus Christ. Amen. It's not about a list of do's and don'ts. It's about relationship with Jesus Christ. Amen? And out of that relationship, he will teach us what he wants us to do and what he doesn't want us to do via the Holy Spirit, right? Impurity and moral compromise. Okay? That pretty much speaks about itself. Cynicism and skepticism. Always thinking that somebody has an ulterior motive, right? Always thinking somebody has an ulterior motive for what they're doing or saying or promoting. We got to get away from that. This is one thing that in the Western church, many of us are very guilty of, and it's something that I have to watch out for as well. Procrastination and laziness are what the Bible calls lethargy. Amen. Entitlement and entitlement mentality. Amen. In other words, I've studied so long, I've got my Master's of Divinity, I've got this, I've got that, amen, and making ourselves puffed up instead of saying, wait a minute here, if it wasn't for Jesus, we would be able to do none of those things. Amen. Hallelujah. Now, we have this thing here that I'm going to be sharing with you guys called prayers against demonic strongholds. So now that we know what they are, amen, now we can do this thing in the Bible that says we're fighting an effectual warfare. Amen. Now we can fight that effectual warfare. Amen. Now that we know what it is, we know what demonic strongholds are, because the Bible says that my people perish for a lack of knowledge, right? Well, now we have the knowledge, so now we can start fighting these things in prayer, okay? So 20 powerful prayers against demonic strongholds. Amen. And so we're going to prayer for liberation from demonic strongholds. That's number one. Heavenly Father, I stand before you recognizing the power of your might. Amen. I plead for liberation from every chain that binds me to darkness. Grant me the strength to break free from all demonic strongholds that hinder my spirit. That's 2 Corinthians 10:14. Amen. Now, you guys may think that I'm just, super savvy when it comes to the internet and whatnot, but actually I just look up scriptures that talk about it, whatever topic we're talking about, and then I read them. I mean, it's not really making me some sort of brain scholar or anything like that, right? Okay. For the weapons of our warfare are not of the flesh, but have divine power to destroy strongholds. That's 2 Corinthians 10:4. Number 2, prayers to combat dark forces. Gracious God, I seek your divine protection against the forces of darkness that seek to harm my soul. Clothe me with the armor of God, of faith, or the whole armor of faith, that I may stand firm in the face of adversity. That is Ephesians 6, verse 16, right? Ephesians 6, verses 10 through 19 goes through a list of things. That would be really good to read. Prayer for mental and spiritual clarity, based on the transformational verse, Romans 12, verse 2. Gracious Father, grant me clarity of mind and spirit amidst the chaos of this world. Help me renew my thoughts and focus on things that are noble, true, and of a good report. So this is also combining also the verse, I'm drawing a blank here. It's also combining the verse in Philippians chapter 4, verse 8, which talks about what things we are supposed to be focusing on. Anything that is lovely, anything that is pure, anything that's of a good report, if anything's praiseworthy, amen, focus on these things, right? I didn't get every one of those in that verse, but that will help you. Romans 12:2 in its actual form says, do not conform to the pattern of this world's way of thinking, being, and doing, right? But be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is. This is called discernment, His good, pleasing, and perfect will. Amen? Number 4, prayer to guard against evil influences. Heavenly Father, which means Father God, right? I seek your divine shelter from all evil influences that seek to harm my soul. Surround me with your protective embrace, shielding me from the schemes of the enemy. Psalm chapter 121, verses 7 and 8. I think we got Jehovah Jireh on here, don't we? Awesome, I hope. Yeah, we do. Awesome, brother. Thank you for joining today. And Yarmaya and Alia Body, thank you so much for joining today. Amen. We bless all of you in Jesus' mighty name. Amen. Now, number 5 out of 20 is prayers for spiritual cleansing. This is the prayer that David prayed when he had that sexual indiscretion with Bathsheba. Amen. And I don't want to go into all that, but basically, that's what this prayer is a portion of. Or this is actually a portion of that prayer that he prayed. O Lord, cleanse me from within and anoint me with your divine light. Amen. Let your purity wash away every stain of darkness that taints my spirit. Okay. That's a prayer based upon that verse. Now we're going to read the verse. Create in me a pure heart, O God, and renew a steadfast or a right spirit within me. Okay. Number 6, prayer for victory over demonic attacks, based upon 1 John 4:4. You, dear children, are from God and have overcome them, because the one who is in you is greater than the one who is in the world. Prayer for breaking demonic bondages. Amen. Now, we talk about this verse many times, specifically James 4, verses 7 and 8. But here in verse 7, what are the first 2 words that it says? Well, actually, the first 5 words. What does it say? Submit yourselves then to God. So if it comes first in the verse, that's the first thing you need to do. Some people try to bypass the first part of this verse and somehow think that they're going to, the devil's going to flee for them. No, it will not happen. Right? You have to submit yourselves fully to God, 100%, in every area of your life first. Then you can resist the devil or tell the devil to take a hike, and he will actually do it. Amen? Number 8, prayers for spiritual empowerment. Philippians 4, verse 13. Very straightforward and to the point. It says, I can do all things through Jesus who gives me strength. And through the Holy Ghost, right? Father God, the Holy Trinity. Prayer for protection against demonic forces. Put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes or devices. Love that verse. Amen. Again, very straightforward and to the point. Prayer for defeating demonic strongholds. Amen. Like I say, if you get this link, you can read all the fine print there. It says, Heavenly Father, I stand firm in the victory won through Jesus Christ. Grant me the strength to resist and overcome every demonic stronghold that challenges your authority in my life. Amen. Hallelujah. Now, 1 Corinthians 15, 57 and 58, but we're just going to read verse 57. But thanks be to God, He gives us the victory through our Lord Jesus Christ. Now, there's another one of these knowledge scriptures. Remember, the Bible says what? My people perish because of lack of knowledge, right? A lack of knowledge of what? A lack of knowledge of the Word of God. So when you start getting these verses into your mind and then eventually into your heart, you're doing something very good. You're actually, with the help of the Holy Spirit, you're actually memorizing key verses in the Word of God that will help you to overcome all of life's tests and challenges. Amen. Hallelujah. Prayer for inner peace and wholeness, based upon Jeremiah 30, verse 17. But I will restore you to health and heal your wounds, declares the Lord. Amen. If you feel like you've been beaten down by the devil or by your fleshly desires, and you're like, God, help. Help is on the way. Amen. Prayers for deliverance from darkness. Psalm 34, verse 17. The righteous cry out, and the Lord hears them, and He delivers them from all their troubles. Who are the righteous? Followers of Jesus. Those that are seeking Him, right? Hallelujah. Now, number 13, invoking God's strength against evil. 2 Timothy 1:7. For the Spirit God gave us does not make us timid or shy, but gives us power, love, and self-discipline. I don't know about you guys. I need more self-discipline. Amen. Self-discipline is kind of like the opposite of distractions, right? It's like, oh man, I forgot I got to do my honey-do list today. Wifey wants me to take out the trash. Wifey wants me to, clean up the house and do the dishes and do this and whatnot, right? But God's like saying, I believe He's saying, just hold on, Okay. Right? He's like, yes, you need to do those things, but I want you to spend time with me first. Amen. That's why Matthew 6, verse 33 is so hard for all of us when it says, seek ye first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things shall be added to you. What things added to you? The clothing that you need, the shelter that you need, the shoes that you need. You may be freaking out because it's Christmas time and you want your children to have this and you want them to have that. Amen. And God's saying, did you spend time with me first before you start getting on social media and bombarding people that you don't even know in person with your cares, with your wants? As though they are able to do it for you. That's a challenging word. Amen. But I often get frustrated with people that continually have that fundraising mindset. We need to stop that. Because if you haven't been with God in private first, He's going to give you the strategies that you need to be successful, instead of browbeating people all the time. Well, if you don't give into my ministry, you're not giving to the poor and you're not much of a Christian. Yeah, I get a lot of those types of messages, guys. And I'm like, wow, you people are like ravenous wolves, amen? So you got to be careful. You got to be careful not to go overboard in your fundraising, right? You got to sit at the feet of Jesus first to see what he wants you to do, because God already knows what you need before you ask him. Matthew chapter 6 verse 8, right? So don't put any undue stress on others. Amen. Go to God ourselves, find out what he wants, and then we will, I believe, have greater victory in our lives. Amen. Hallelujah. Okay, so James, let's see, what's it? Prayer for discernment in spiritual battles. I need discernment. Discernment's one of the greatest things to have. We call that a Holy Ghost barometer. You're born with it as a baby, but then you're untaught it by adults when they train you. Amen. They say, well, you can't just, totally trust, how little kids, they'll go up to a total stranger and they'll shake their hand. Amen. You ever seen that? Amen. And you're like, oh man, don't do that, because that's a stranger danger, right? So we're teaching children to be fearful instead of saying, watching what they do first and watching what that person does in response, because many times little children are a blessing to strangers. Amen. The Bible says for us to entertain strangers. Amen. But for some reason in the Western church, we've got a cross up and we're like, stay away from me. I don't know you, stranger danger. Amen. And it's just crazy. It's like a phobia. Amen. It needs to be broken in Jesus' mighty name. So James chapter 1 verse 5 says, if any of you lack wisdom or discernment, right, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given you. There comes to a point in that relationship that we're developing with Jesus where whatever you ask, Jesus said, I will give you. But he doesn't say that to you if you don't have a relationship with him. You see, when you surrender your stuff, when you surrender your life to Jesus, and you do that over and over again each and every day for a long enough period of time, then your heart becomes his heart. Did I say that right? Your heart becomes like his heart. In other words, you're no longer looking out for your own selfish needs and desires. No, you're actually looking out for the needs of Jesus himself, what he wants to see accomplished on this earth. Right? It's totally different mindset. It's that John chapter 15 verses 4 through 7 mindset and heart set, because God looks at the heart, right? That's why I tell you guys, be careful all the time what goes in your eye gate and what goes and what goes in your ear gate and your eye gate. What are you voluntarily looking at? What are you voluntarily listening to? Those two things, if left unchecked, will pollute what God is trying to do in you. Amen. So prayer for freedom from demonic influence, based upon John chapter 8, verse 36. So if the Son sets you free, you will be free indeed, right? Prayer for overcoming spiritual attacks. 1 Peter 5, verse 9. Resist him, resisting the devil, standing firm in the faith, because you know that your family of believers throughout the world is undergoing the same types of sufferings. Amen. The same types of persecutions, right? You're not getting persecution just because you're Special Bob or Special Susie or Special Gundula David Paul, right? You are getting an attack because you want to further the kingdom of God, and the enemy of our souls does not want that. So now you have a spiritual target on your head. Amen. He wants to take you out. Amen. And if you have all of your spiritual armor on, you know, you're doing good. But at the same time, the only way that the devil can do anything to you at that point is if he goes before God and God says, fine, go ahead. Right? Because God is well aware of this thing called persecution. And if we are willing to yield ourselves to the benefits of what happens when we're persecuted, amen, it's a beautiful thing. Hallelujah. All right, number 17. We only got 4 more to go here, guys. Prayer for direction in battle against evil. Psalm 32, verse 8. I will instruct you and teach you in the way that you should go. I will counsel you with my loving eye on you. There's a song out there by a man named, see if I can remember. I'm looking right at him in the spirit, and I can't even think. There's a song called "Eye on It" by, oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to go in here and look. Then I'll have to share it with you guys, because you'll be like, "Hey, Brother Bill, share! Come on, sharing is caring, right?" Let's see here. Let's do this. I don't know why I have a blank here. Eye on It by Toby Mac. Now, for you guys who don't like really hard music or really hard dance music, this may not be the song for you, but this particular song I really like because see, come on. I just want you to play the song. There we go. Okay. This particular song, he's singing with a lady. And I don't know if you guys know, but many times when the man and the woman are singing the song together, they get so many more views. And we call that a duet. When there's a man and a woman singing a song together. And like I say, some people won't like this style of music, but that's okay. I'm sharing it anyway because of the topic here that we're talking about. Amen. Hallelujah. There's that. Nope, that's not it. That's not. I just want to close the window. Okay. Let's see what we got here. There we go. Okay. Yes. Hey, Brian Mathis, I'm so glad you came on. See, Brian knows. Amen. And Nishad Peter, thank you so much for joining. Amen. In Uganda. Hallelujah. See, Brian, you just came on at the right time. See how that is? Amen. So let me go back to our topic here. Again, which is 20 powerful prayers against demonic strongholds. Amen. And we're in number 17, which is talking about prayer for direction in battle against evil. Amen. And the end of Psalm 32, verse 8 says, I will counsel you with my loving eye on you. So that made me think of the song Eye on It by Toby Mac. Okay. Prayers for dispelling darkness. Matthew 5, verses 14 through 16. I love these verses, guys. Amen. You are a light of the world. A town or a city on a hill cannot be hidden. Let your light so shine before others that they may see your good works and glorify your Father who is in heaven. Hey, we only got 2 more, guys. Prayer for strength amidst spiritual warfare. Psalm 31:24 says, "Be strong, take heart, all you who hope in the Lord." Amen. Be strong. Take courage. Amen. Take heart means take courage, all you who hope in the Lord. And for all of you that are struggling with addiction today, this is one of the reasons why this topic is coming forth, because we want everyone to be set free. We want everybody to be delivered in Jesus' mighty name. Amen. Hello, Pastor Randy. Blessings. How are you doing today out there in the great city of Newark, Ohio? Amen. Again, our topic today is 20 powerful prayers against or of overcoming strongholds of the enemy. Amen. Number 20, reclaiming authority, prayer for taking control over demonic strongholds. Gracious God, give me the authority and power you have bestowed upon me to reclaim dominion over every demonic stronghold. Help me exercise the authority given through Jesus Christ to overcome all evil influences. Amen. So that's based on Luke chapter 10, verse 19. I have given you authority to trample on snakes and scorpions and to overcome all the power of the enemy. Nothing will harm you. Amen. Hallelujah. So if there's anybody out there today, you don't know Jesus Christ as Savior and Lord of your life, and you would like to, amen? You would like to know Jesus as Savior and Lord of your life, and you've heard the praise and worship today, you've heard the teaching today, and it's challenging you to have this thing called a new life in Christ Jesus. Amen? Let's pray. Amen? Let's sit down on our bench and let's pray. Maybe some of you will be led to kneel before Jesus and ask Him what we're going to be saying right now. Dear Jesus, I thank you for this day, a day in which I get to know you as Savior and Lord of my life. Lord Jesus, I ask you to forgive me of all of my sins and cleanse me from all unrighteousness. I ask you to put within me a new heart, O God, and renew a right spirit in me. Amen. Lord Jesus, I ask you to help me to follow you all the days of my life. Lord Jesus, I confess that you are my Savior, my Lord, my Master, my spiritual daddy, and my King. I agree within 30 days that I will be water baptized by a local pastor, by an elder, a deacon, someone who knows Jesus more than I do. Amen. That I will be baptized, fully immersed in water in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. That's the second part of the salvation experience, is being baptized in water. Hallelujah. The third part of the salvation experience is to receive the baptism by the hands of the presbytery. That means leadership in the church, which we do in proxy right now. If you put your hand on your phone, amen, and come into agreement with me in Jesus' name. Hallelujah. I agree to be baptized right now, to receive the baptism of the Holy Ghost with the evidence of speaking in unknown tongues. T, 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 ah, ka, ka, ya, 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 re, 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 yay, yay, yay. If you receive this baptism by faith, receive it now in Jesus' mighty name. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. Lord Jesus, I ask you to help me to live for you all the days of my life. I ask you to give me the courage and the strength and the love for humanity to witness for you, to share the gospel of Jesus Christ with others, which means the life, death, burial, resurrection. Life, death, burial, resurrection from the dead of the Lord Jesus Christ with others, that they may know you as I have come to know you today. And it's in Jesus' mighty name I pray. Amen. Hallelujah. If you received Jesus Christ as Savior and Lord of your life today, please let me know. You can let me know on Messenger. You can leave me a comment on here. Amen. And don't forget that we have a YouTube channel, guys, that helps educate people in how they can grow in their most holy faith in the Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. Learning, growing, and applying. Those are the things that we will continue to be doing because God wants us to learn and grow in Him. Amen. Hallelujah. Well, I'm going to go ahead and leave this broadcast now, guys, but I pray that you will take these scriptures that we've talked about today and apply them to your heart and to your life, and may they be a blessing to you. In Jesus' mighty name. Shalom.